And specifically, it's G3TX token.
Yeah, exactly. The idea is to really unpack what this token is all about, why it exists, and, why you might find it interesting.
We've got the official G3TX tokenomics document here, so we're digging straight into the source.
Absolutely. It's quite detailed. Our goal is really to pull out the core information and figure out how this token actually works inside the GetX.Academy system.
Okay, so let's start there. GetX.Academy. What is it in a nutshell? And how does G3TX fit into that picture?
Right. So GetX.Academy is basically a platform. It's built for creators, people who want to create and sell their own online courses.
Okay, like an online learning platform.
Pretty much, yeah. And it's slated to launch June 1st, 2025. Now, G3TX, that's the platform's utility token.
Utility token, meaning it has specific jobs within that platform. It's not just like a speculative coin.
Exactly. Think of it like a special key or maybe in-game currency, but for this learning platform. It unlocks things, gives you access.
Right, right. So it has tangible uses inside GetX.Academy. And technically speaking, where does this token live? What's the underlying tech?
Good question. It's built on the Apertum blockchain.
Apertum.
Yeah.
Haven't heard as much about that one.
Well, Apertum is what's known as a subnet of Avalanche.
Ah, okay. So Avalanche is the bigger network, and Apertum is like a specialized chain running alongside it, connected to it.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, like a custom lane on the highway, maybe optimized for applications like GetX.Academy. It can mean things like, faster transactions, potentially lower fees, features tailored for the platform.
Makes sense. A specialized environment.
Mhm.
So fast forward to launch day, what can someone actually do with these G3TX tokens? Why would I, as a user or a creator, want them?
Okay, the tokenomics doc lays out several key uses. Holding G3TX lets you access exclusive rewards, get VIP features on the platform, maybe enter special giveaways.
Okay, perks for holders.
Yeah. It also ties into a creator's reputation. You can earn badges, build up your standing within the GetX community using the token.
Interesting. Reputation aspect.
Mm-hmm. And they mentioned something pretty unique, using G3TX to participate in indie film loan NFTs.
Whoa, okay. Indie film loan NFTs. How'd that work? Like token holders vote on funding films or something?
It's not fully detailed, but yeah, that seems to be the gist. Maybe voting rights, maybe a share of potential returns. It's definitely an intriguing angle they've included. Something to watch.
Definitely sounds like a topic for another day. Okay, what else?
And finally, just practically, holding G3TX can get you discounts on premium tools that might be offered on the GetX.Academy platform.
Got it. So rewards, status, this interesting NFT film thing, and discounts. Seems like they're trying to weave it pretty deeply into the user experience.
That seems to be the goal, yeah. Incentivizing participation, rewarding engagement.
All right, let's switch gears to the numbers. The token supply. How many G3TX tokens are there, or will there ever be?
Total supply is capped at 100 million G3TX.
100 million. Flat?
Exactly, and the document is very clear. That's a fixed supply. No more G3TX will ever be created. No inflation built in.
That's usually a key point people look for in tokenomics,
Mhm.
a finite supply. So out of that 100 million, how's it being divided up? Who gets what slice of the pie?
Okay, the distribution breakdown is pretty heavily weighted towards users. The vast majority, 94%, that's 94 million tokens, goes into what they call the subscriber emission reserve. This is for ongoing reward.
94% for subscribers. Wow, okay. What about the rest?
Then there's 2% or 2 million tokens set aside for pre-launch rewards. That's happening in June 2025. We'll touch on that more.
Okay, pre-launch incentive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
3%, which is 3 million tokens, is allocated to the founders.
Standard founder allocation.
Seems pretty standard, yeah. And the final 1%, 1 million tokens, is for the liquidity pool.
Ah, the LP. Crucial for trading, right?
Absolutely crucial. This 1 million G3TX will be paired with $5,000 worth of USDT, which is a stablecoin, on a decentralized exchange, or DAX.
So that pairing provides the initial trading liquidity, lets people actually buy and sell the token on a DX, like, say, Trader Joe if they're on an Avalanche subnet.
Exactly. It establishes that initial market and price point. USDT provides that stable base against the G3TX token.
And they've actually listed the wallet addresses for these different allocations.
They have, which adds a layer of transparency. You can, theoretically track where these pools of tokens are. For anyone interested, the founder's wallet is 0 by 22 pens ending in point B97.
Okay.
The pre-launch tokens are at 0 by 646 ending in DE. The DEX liquidity is at 0 by C1E. ending in point 0A. And the big one, the monthly emissions reserve, is at 0 by 79E, ending in point 0.85.
Good for people who like to verify on the blockchain. And the token itself, the G3TX contract address.
Yes, that's 0 by 79E, ending in point 0.37. And they make a really important point here. If you want to see G3TX in your wallet, like MetaMask, you need to add this contract address.
Right. Import the token on the Apertum network.
Exactly. But, and this is crucial, do not send funds to this contract address. It's just an identifier, not a deposit address.
Very important safety tip. Don't send your crypto to contract addresses. Okay, let's circle back to that pre-launch bonus. 2 million tokens. How does someone get a piece of that?
So this is their way to, well, kickstart the community. In June 2025, the month before the main launch, anyone who registers on the GetX.Academy website
Just registers an account.
registers and connects a Web3 wallet like MetaMask. If you do that in June, you become eligible for a share of that 2 million G3TX pool.
So it's an early adopter reward, basically.
Yeah.
Split amongst everyone who signs up and connects a wallet early.
That's exactly it, an incentive to get involved right at the very beginning.
And when would those early birds actually receive these tokens?
The document says distribution for these pre-launch tokens is planned for July 15th.
Okay, about 2 weeks after the pre-launch period ends. And can people trade these tokens right away?
Yes, that's another key point. They state these tokens will be tradable on the DEX immediately upon distribution, so they'll have potential market value pretty quickly.
Good to know. And the deadline for getting in on this pre-launch deal?
It runs for the whole month of June 2025. So the cutoff is June 30th, 2025, and they mentioned registrations are actually open now. The link provided is https://www.GetEx.Academy.
Okay, so people listening now could potentially go register even before June starts. Worth checking out if you're interested. All right, June is the pre-launch. What happens starting July 1st? How do tokens get distributed ongoing?
Right, so after the initial airdrop, they move into the monthly emission plan. Starting July 1st, 2025, they plan to distribute 1.5 million G3TX tokens each month.
1.5 million per month. And who gets those?
These are distributed equally among all paid subscribers on the GetX.Academy platform.
Equally. Okay, so if there are more paid subscribers, each person gets a smaller share of that 1.5 million pot.
Precisely. It's like splitting a fixed-size pizza among however many people show up, using their example. If there are 1,000 paid subscribers, each gets 1,500 G3TX that month.
Makes sense.
But if the platform grows, say to 2,000 subscribers, then each person's share drops to 750 G3TX for that month.
So the individual reward scales down as the user base scales up, but the total monthly emission stays fixed at 1.5 million, at least initially.
Exactly. It directly rewards being a paying member of the community.
Now, you mentioned initially, and earlier you talked about a deflationary mechanism. How did that work with these monthly emissions? This sounds important.
It is. This is where the long-term tokenomics get interesting. That 1.5 million G3TX monthly emission figure, it doesn't stay 1.5 million forever. It's designed to decrease over time.
Oh, okay. How does it decrease?
The plan is to reduce the total monthly emission amount by 5% every 3 months. Every quarter, the amount of new tokens being distributed drops slightly.
A quarterly reduction.
Yeah.
But what about unclaimed tokens? If someone's a subscriber but doesn't, I don't know, click a button to claim their share.
That's the other key part of the deflationary mechanism. Any G3TX allocated for monthly emissions that isn't claimed by subscribers within that month will be burned.
Burned meaning permanently destroyed, removed from circulation forever.
Exactly. Sent to an unrecoverable address. So this actively reduces the total supply of G3TX over time, increasing scarcity.
So two deflationary pressures. The emission rate itself drops every quarter, and any unclaimed tokens from the monthly pool get burned.
Correct. It's designed to counteract the new supply entering circulation and potentially make the remaining tokens more scarce and thus potentially more valuable over the long run.
Do they give a schedule for these emission reductions?
They provide the first few quarters as an example. So June 2025 is the 2 million pre-launch airdrop. Then July, August, September, it's 1.5 million G3TX per month.
Okay, Q3 2025.
Then for Q4, October, November, December, that 1.5 million drops by 5%. So it becomes 1.425 million G3TX per month.
Right, 5% less.
Then Q1 2026, January, February, March, it drops another 5% from the new level down to roughly 1.35 million per month.
And this 5% quarterly reduction just keeps going.
The document says the reduction continues every quarter, so it's a gradual but persistent decrease in the rate of new token creation.
Okay, that's a clear picture of the supply side. Now, let's connect this to the platform's business model. You mentioned paid subscribers. GetX.Academy has a $99 monthly subscription fee. Where does that money actually go? How does it feed back into this G3TX ecosystem?
This is really where the token's utility and the platform's revenue model connect directly. According to the tokenomics, a portion of that $99 subscription fee is used to directly interact with the G3TX token market.
How so?
Specifically, 5% of every $99 subscription is used by GetX.Academy to buy G3TX tokens off the open market, presumably from the DEX.
Okay, they buy G3TX, and then what?
And then they immediately burn those tokens they just bought.
Wow, okay, so every subscription payment creates direct buy pressure on the token and contributes to reducing the supply through burning.
Exactly. It's a built-in mechanism using platform revenue to support the token's scarcity and demand.
That's quite integrated. What about the rest of the subscription fee? Is any more used for the token?
Yes. Another 10% of the $99 fee is also used to buy G3TX from the market. But instead of burning it, this portion is added to the DEX liquidity pool, along with an equivalent value of USDT.
Ah, so they're using platform revenue to deepen the trading liquidity, making it easier for people to buy and sell G3TX without causing huge price swings.
Precisely. 5% for buy and burn, 10% for buy and add liquidity. So 15% of the subscription revenue directly supports the G3TX market mechanics.
Okay, that accounts for 15%. What happens to the remaining 85% of that $99?
All right, the breakdown for the rest is 30% goes to referral rewards, specifically, a one-tier system rewarding users who bring in new subscribers.
Incentivizing growth. Makes sense.
Then 20% is allocated to marketing, events, maybe raffles or other community engagement activities, helps grow the platform's visibility.
Right, outreach and promotion.
And the final 35% is earmarked for the core costs. Platform development, maintenance, server costs, team, general operations, running the actual business.
So it seems like a system designed where platform growth, driven by subscriptions, directly fuels mechanisms intended to support the token's value through buy pressure, burns, and liquidity.
That certainly seems to be the intention laid out in the tokenomics, a kind of symbiotic relationship where the success of the platform aims to positively impact the token, and perhaps vice versa if the token helps attract and retain users.
It creates a potential cycle, yeah. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground. Let's try to boil this down. What are the absolute key takeaways about G3TX someone should remember from this?
Okay, summary points. First, G3TX is fundamentally designed to reward people who use GetX.Academy, especially paid subscribers and early adopters.
Right, rewards for participation.
Second, it has built-in deflationary aspects. The supply of new tokens decreases every quarter, and unclaimed tokens plus a portion of subscription fees are actively burned, reducing the total supply over time.
Deflationary mechanics are key.
Third, the platform's own subscription revenue is used to create constant buy pressure on G3TX and to increase its trading liquidity on the DEX.
Subscriptions fuel the token market. Got it.
And finally, the whole thing seems structured to create a win-win. Creators get a platform, learners get courses, and both are incentivized through the token system, which is supported by the platform's financial model.
Rewards, deflation, buy pressure, and ecosystem alignment. Seems like a solid summary. Now, if listeners want to follow this project, keep up with GetX.Academy or G3TX developments, where should they go?
The document lists their main social channels. They have a Telegram group. The link looks like bit.ui4kvv4w7.
Okay, Telegram.
They're also on Instagram. That's bit.ui4kvv4w7.
Insta. Check.
And on X, formerly Twitter, at bit.ui4millywkxg9.
X. Okay, Telegram, Instagram, X. Good places to stay updated.
Yeah, those seem to be the primary community hubs mentioned.
Excellent. Well, this has been a really informative deep dive into the G3TX tokenomics. It definitely leaves you thinking, doesn't it?
It does. It's a specific model trying to tightly integrate a token with a real-world service.
Right. So for you listening, consider this. What are the real implications of embedding a utility token this deeply within an online learning platform? How might these specific tokenomics, the emission schedule, the burns, the subscription links, actually drive participation and long-term growth for GetX.Academy?
And maybe think bigger picture, too. What kinds of possibilities does this sort of Web3 native approach open up? For creators, for learners, as this whole digital learning space keeps evolving?
Definitely some interesting questions to ponder. Thanks for exploring this with us today.